Hi everyone, Rachel Crow back talking about my Healing Manifesto. What I want to talk to you today about is asking for help and calling in your tribe. Now, I've worked with so many people that have gone, when I've said that you need to ask for help, they've gone, oh no, I can't do that. Everyone's really busy. Oh, people have done enough for me. Oh, I can't ask whoever it is, my sister, my mum, my auntie, my husband. They've got too much on. So what I say to them is stop taking other people's inventories for them. It's up to them to say no. If they're taking on too much, it's up to them to say no. That's the thing, when you ask for help, you have to be prepared that people may say, sorry, I can't do it. But there's also always people who want to help. Always. It's putting yourself out there. It's not easy to ask for help. I really struggled with it. I was self-sufficient single mum. It's like I never asked for help for anything, and yet the times when I ended up on my knees was because I hadn't asked for help, because I've been doing too much, I'm burnt out, or I got sick, or whatever it was. And you quickly find out who your friends are when you're in crisis, whatever the crisis is. It's like people scurry away and disappear because they can't deal with it, or it pushes their buttons, or the way you're dealing with it pushes their buttons, or they've got too much going on, so they pull back. And that's fine. That's okay. Let them do their thing. But the people who want to be there for you will just sweep in. But you do have to ask for help. And it is overwhelming when the help comes. I mean, I've just found it cracked my heart open, the people who helped me in so many different ways. So I had one time an old friend of mine that I hadn't seen for years travelled all the way down from Liverpool and came to see me. I had my local friends making me juices and bringing juices to my doorstep, coming and giving me massages and rubbing my feet, or just sitting with me, giving me free treatments or paying for me to have treatments with other people. People put money on my GoFundMe. It was completely overwhelming. The prayers, the healing, the love that came in. And that was one of the messages I got when I first had that cancer diagnosis. I remember just sitting and just saying, what is this about? And the message I got was, let the love in. My heart had to be cracked open. So I found my tribe. I was really blessed that I'd spent nearly 30 years working in community in different ways. So whether it was my Red Tent, my Moon Lodge, my mum and daughter groups, the online work that I'd done, my Reiki students, I hadn't really realised the whole time what I'd been doing was building community. So I had all these kind of resources to call upon, all these people that wanted to step up and help in so many different ways. And, the women in my direct community were absolutely amazing. I've talked about it before, about, looking after my children and driving me to hospital appointments and all those things, driving me all the way to Swansea to pick up my ovaries. It was just astounding. No one asked me for petrol money. No one asked me for anything in return. It was open-hearted receiving for me. And I only heard, I think it was maybe about a year ago, I heard, I think it was Gabor Mate talking about trauma, and he said, in indigenous cultures, when someone gets a terminal illness, the tribe gather around them and they thank them for taking on that illness on behalf of the tribe. And the tribe come together to heal that person. And I believe that's true. I believe because of all the work I've done before, I feel like I've had 3 lifetimes in this life. I had to work on my shit when I had my rock bottom as an addict and transform out of that. And because I knew that transformation was possible, and I knew that miracles happened, and I knew that this brain could be rewired in a different way, I knew I'd be able to heal. And I'd also seen the ripple effect of healing. You know, I taught Reiki for like 15 years, and I would see people using Reiki to heal themselves in lots of different ways, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, ancestral, you know, and the ripple effect that would have on the rest of the family was absolutely breathtaking and beautiful. And I noticed that in my own healing as well, the ripple effect it had on my ancestral lineage. So I knew that actually, you know, a couple of my sisters said to me, this isn't about you, Rachael. This healing journey isn't about you. You are doing this on behalf of Mother Earth. You're doing it on behalf of all the women. You know, the fact that where I had my cancer, you know, my cervix, my womb, my ovaries, you know, that's the divine feminine. I was transmuting something in my body. I was having to do this work and having to do the healing on behalf of humanity, on behalf of women, on behalf of the earth. You know, I really believe that, you know, our bodies mirror what's going on out there. It's the macrocosm and the microcosm, you know, and I talked in some of my blogs when I was having chemotherapy. It was no coincidence for me that the forest on my doorstep was clear felled. And I would go and sit on those stumps of trees and see the mirroring of what was going on in my body, you know, the cells that were being destroyed. It's all a mirror. It's all an opportunity for healing. It's all an opportunity to look inside and see where we need to put the love. And we need to let the love in. We need to let other people love us well. We need to gather the tribe. I would absolutely say being witnessed by my community. You know, I absolutely didn't know if I would survive this journey. When you get a stage 4 diagnosis, you know, I actually met someone recently and they said they'd never ever heard of anyone getting well from a stage 4 diagnosis. I mean, you know, actually there's lots of people that do, but in their life, in their bubble, they hadn't heard of it before. You know, that's what's out there in the consciousness, in the mass consciousness. You know, cancer is a you know, a word that people hear and associate with death. So that story has to be changed around, and that's what I've been doing the last few years, is changing that story around. But you know, I believe for me, the fact that I was witnessed by my tribe, by my community, I was held by my community, I was loved by my community, I was loved well by those around me. So you have to kind of cut all that stuff about people are too busy, nobody wants to help me, everyone's got too much going on. Drop it and ask for help and call people in. You know, in my experience, people want to help, and also that's part of service. It's like, you know, we're all here to be in service to one another, and there are times when you're full and you can't help, and there's times when there's space. You know, I mean, I saw that recently where I was at a camp and there was like 15 of us all camping together in a circle. It was like a little, you know, 300 people there, but we all camped together in circles and we take turns cooking. And some people, you know, had been ill, some people were just burnt out, some people were busy, and those of us that weren't carried them, you know. And maybe next year those people who needed to be carried will be the ones doing the carrying. It doesn't always have to be the same people, you know. It's like pay it forward or whatever it is. It's kind of like we do it when we can, and when we can't, it's okay. And that's a boundary to say, I'm actually I'm running on empty at the moment. I don't have anything to give, but maybe they do. So I really urge you to ask for help and gather your tribe. gather your community, look around and, you know, see who's there. You know, just whether they're therapists or, you know, I had people I didn't even know, complete strangers who, you know, had come across me on Facebook or whatever, kind of who were local. I'm a reflexologist, you know, can I come and give you a treatment? That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Or, you know, another woman whose mother had had cancer and she'd supported her through cancer. And so she knew, you know, people who've been touched know the big deal that it is for a person and their family for what they're going through. You know, yeah, I you know, supported this person. Was like, I supported my mum. I'd really like to come and, you know, give you a treatment. And I just said yes to it all. I had to. You know, that was part of me changing my pattern, was to just let the love in, say yes. Someone wants to help you, say yes. Even if you know that, you know, one of my friends, she drove bloody miles, picked me up and took me for mistletoe therapy. Another friend drove bloody miles to take me for my chemotherapy on one of the occasions that my husband couldn't do it. You know, it's just like so much gratitude. Another friend who put me up when I was having mistletoe therapy and gave me, you know, cranial therapy treatments or foot massages, or just wrapped me up by the fire. It doesn't have to be big, it can be really little. It can be just coming over and sitting, you know, holding someone's hand. But we have to be in a position where we can be open to it, and that's not always easy. So that's my little nugget of wisdom for you in this video. And yeah, I'd love to hear from people, you know, if you've been affected in this way, or you've been a person who supported someone in this way. You know, how was it for you? I know for me, you know, I had a friend recently who was going through it, and it was beautiful to be part of her healing tribe, you know, to actually be the person on the other side and be able to offer the healing, to go over and do the foot massage, to do a bit of the childcare, to make food for her and her family. You know, it's like being on both sides is so rewarding. Those little acts of kindness just bring so much joy. So don't deny people that joy. You know, people want to help. And, you know, I have so much gratitude in my heart for my tribe, my wider tribe. You know who you are, and the people who are probably watching this are part of my tribe. You all inspire me, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life.